Hi everyone. Alright, so there's two people that have been nagging me for a lot of months, actually since last year. They wanted me to do the face reading for this young lady. Alright, so with face reading, I know the face reading I'm going to be doing is not as accurate because most of the photos, this is Moonbyul Yin. Anyway, she's a South Korean rapper. All right, it's the K-pop scene. So with the faces that the images that I collect off the internet for this, we know that a lot of things are touched up. So I can only go by what I can see. We're not going to see lines basically, and I'm sure she's very, very young. I think she's in her early 30s. So early 30s is your eyes, okay? And so I kind of focused on her eyes a little bit more than, Anyway, so firstly I want to explain why I've got her from her hairline to the tip of her brows, then from the tip of her brows to the tip of her nose, from the tip of her nose to the tip where her chin ends. They're three levels. They are like three influences, three frequencies, whatever you want to call them. Okay, so from the hairline to the top of her brows is, like you've left your 14, you start your 15s, and then you enter in your 20s, that type of thing. So your 20s kind of begin a little bit up further, but by the time you get to around here, you're in your 25s, all right? So there's a big change when you are 25, and that's what I'm trying to say. Big change when you are 14 going on to 15, and as you can see, there's also the ear, which I will put in one sec as well. So for the hairline to there, this for her when I measured it, it's 1.6 centimeters. All right. Then from the tip of her brows to the tip of her nose, it is 1.9 centimeters to nearly 2 centimeters. And then the earth, that's heaven, man as in human, what we are, and then this is the earthly realm. And so that's from the tip of the nose to the chin. From the tip of the nose to the chin, it is, earthly, but it's also your later on years, 50s to 70s, because that includes your jawline, etc., etc. That is 1.75 centimeters. So really the biggest thing is here. This you can see in the picture just there, that is the biggest thing. So it means she uses common sense, stable person, but in control, as in, what's it called, OCD? Yeah, something, or anal in control. So they make situations work for themselves, and that's what she's like. It's got to work for her, or, that sort of thing. So there are no lines here. There may be lines, but it's taken out. And when I say lines, I mean like if I do this, can you see my lines? Yeah, I'm going to squeeze it a bit. I do have lines. You just can't always see them. I'm in my 60s, so I should have lines. So, by hook or by crook. All right, so that's the forehead. The next thing I want to focus on, and this part that is where the biggest part for her is her 30s and 40s. So her 30s and 40s are huge for her because that is the bigger part by shape. All right. So you can sort of look at that yourself. All right. Then we've got her ear. So if you have a look at her ear, on the side is the best way to look at that. So the line goes straight across from her ear to the the tip of her brow. And then it's where it goes is from midway through your nose all the way to the tip of your nose, and I have seen past to where the lip is, where ears go. All right, so even if I do mine like this, you can see straight line. Here's my lobe. Yeah, mine is a little bit just under the tip of my nose. The only thing here is she doesn't have earlobes. So not having earlobes is you haven't let go. Like there's an attachment somewhere to family, because your ears are 0 to 7, 6, and then 7 to 14. And then 15, remember, starts there. And so that also means that she does make money, but doesn't enjoy it to its fullest, okay, because the focus is on what is next, basically. All right. So because when we had a look before, you can see that with her ears also is there's no cuts out or there's no marks, there's none of that. So it doesn't actually suggest traumas or things like that. I mean, I'm just looking at one ear now. Keep that in mind as well. But I can say that in her, if you're looking at the ear, there's a little bit of a wedge type thing there. So maybe around 5, 6, if I'm looking at the ear as 7, as 5, then at 5, that would mean there was something that actually occurred. And that is because your ears are your intelligence. So intelligence came through around 5. It could have come through before, but 5 is a trigger. So if I looked at the other ear and it was around there as well, then I would say yes. So keep in mind the best way to talk about ears is Buddha's ears. You know how they stretch them all the way down because your ears are your intelligence. And so hers does go to the tip there, but it is still, there's still intelligence there because it goes way beyond. So again, remember, from the tip here is the widest part for her. So it's full on for her in her from 5 through that ear, from 5 years onwards. It's full on for her because the tip here is about 47 when we get to that, and below that is 50. So yes, she will probably still be going around 47. I don't see why on this, all right? So that's the other thing. The forehead, because it is the widest part as well. So if I remove that again, you can see how wide her forehead is. So it's like this, her face, and it goes into a little, not a point though, although in the picture there with the Albany hair, her chin points, but I would say that's touched up. Her jaw is not totally pointed. It goes down and it's flat a little bit there, that sort of thing. So with this, the early, in her 15 to 20s, this is high, it's wide, it's squarish, that type of thing. And that's, you know, it's like elementally when something is wide and square, we call it the earth element. So that means grounding herself as well. She was trying to ground herself. And it also means breaking the rules, because think of earth, it's a mountain, and mountain, you can't move a mountain. All right, so that's why a mountain is stubborn, stable, secure, that sort of thing. Will not tilt or bend. So breaking the rules in her teens, and she's also challenged, but it's still, this is so creative. So the girl, like if she was doing her choreography or rapping, it has to have perfection, and it has to be created in a different way. All right. So that's up until 14, and then 15 is her big change in life where it starts there. So as again, this is very, very wide. I would say the intelligence again was huge from 15 onwards to until we reach 27 somewhere down here before 30 on your nose. Her face shape is it's two elements. It is water, so she has that. When you look at her, she can look like a moon shape, okay? She has the plump cheeks, but they're not plump as in we see you pinch. They're just nice and they fill her face. They're rounded. So with the forehead, the dreamy eyes as well, that sort of thing, makes that more water. She also has metal there with her face shape because the wideness at the top, the earth feeds the metal, etc. It's not quite oval down here, but it is wide and then tapers a little bit, all right? So that's face shape. All right. So really for her, in what she has so far in her face, I would say at 5 something began, and then at 15 that's so wide it was like, that's how much she's got to create. That's how much experience and all that sort of stuff. So it's really interesting. And then when we get to the eyebrows, they are strong. They are long. They are not, they're not connected here. They are separated, all right? They're orderly, but that's because of her lifestyle and what she does, all right? If they're not, then it's a different story. Because they are that way, and it's not, they don't quite have an arch, so they're kind of more straight. There is a little bit of an arch here, but not in all the photos. If you have a look in the original one that I've got there with her face that way, there is a little bit an arch, but in all the others, no. Okay, so many ideas because it's not over bushy. It's pretty good, solid. So, and it's separated and it tapers to a tiny point, not a point. So because it's also low to the eyes, like they're not up here, like you said, they're, close to the eyes. This is impulsive. So she is impulsive. She does have a lot of thinking quality as well there. And they are strong eyes. If you look at her eyes, we'll get to that in a sec. So that's her eyebrows. Because her face has more water, it means she always finds a way. And metal, that's very moralistic elementally. So she always finds a way, and metal elementally is that she's like the judge and the jury. If someone's done something wrong, they've got to pay for it. You got to go to jail. That kind of thing. All right. Where are we? Eyes. So eyes are kind of, when you look at eyes, they're the first place that people kind of gravitate to is your eyes. And your eyes are your flowering. They're your emotions because you can see it in your eyes. The shine is through your eyes as well. And that's how you view the world as well, through your eyes. All right. Now, your eyes become from 30. So we've got, this is your eyes, okay? And your eyes become from 30 to 38, 39, okay? It's a little bit like that. So I didn't put the ages on the eyes in that sense, but with eyes, K-pop changed their eye colors. So her original color is dark, deep eyes. Very artistic, talented is the darkness, and very action, like she's an active person. All right, she doesn't just lounge about.